Hey everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. I really haven't uploaded all that much, so I'm sure any of you watching this is definitely probably going to be your first time. So this is a new video series that I'm going to be starting. It's going to not have a title as of yet, but the main idea of it is that at the end of every month, I'm going to be reviewing the photos that I took during that month, just talking about them, where I took them, what I think about them. Kind of just like a retrospective look on my photography, and hopefully this can be sort of a timeline documentation of the evolution of my work, or looking for certain patterns and things. Yeah, just kind of an interesting way of reviewing my work. And then at the start of the next month, not necessarily going to be the first day, but the start of the next month, I'm going to be printing a couple of those photos and then showing you the prints of the photos that we actually talked about. So it is February 27th. It's not quite the end of the month yet. Tomorrow would be the end of the month, but this is the availability that I have to do this video, and I'm definitely not going to be shooting anytime today or tomorrow, more than likely. If I do, not a big deal. You'll see me looking at my phone from time to time. That's just because that's where I have the photos stored, so I can look at them. But you will see them on the screen as I'm talking about them. So this first one here, it's a horizontal shot. It is from Empire Mine in Grass Valley, which is one of my favorite places to visit. I'm probably there once a month, maybe twice a month. There's so many noises in this house, it's ridiculous. There we go. I'm there very often. It's just a fantastic place, and I love being there. It's just such great shots to take. But this is of the mine yard in the former gold mine that was there. That's, kind of how Empire Mine made its money, was gold mining. And yeah, I don't know why I took this shot. It just looked really good. The shadows looked really good. The light looked fantastic. Well, I wouldn't say fantastic, but it looked good. And I shot this with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 on my Fuji X-T3. Yeah, I don't know. I just like this shot a lot. I just think I've tried so many times to get a good, just straight-on photo of this area. And this is the first time that I feel like I've actually got something that kind of gives the feeling of the scale and just like the size of everything there. So pretty cool shot. The next shot on the list is also from Empire Mine. This month I only kind of went to two places and got good photos. I went to Empire Mine, and then the other location was near Boulder Ridge Park in Rockland. And that's about it. That's about all I did this month. It was kind of a rainy, wet month, and went snowshoeing on a Sunday. And that took a lot out of me for the next week, so I didn't really have a lot of energy to go and do anything else. And I did get some photos snowshoeing, but not my favorite photos that I've ever taken. But yeah, anyways. So this next shot is of a leaf, a very fall color-ish leaf, hanging from a branch, and with some really nice, kind of crazy bokeh in the background. This was taken with the Fuji X-T3. That's my main camera. And it was taken with the Viltrox 85mm f1.8. Yeah, I just really like the bokeh in the background on this. The colors are fantastic. The amount of detail and sharpness is great. That lens is such an unbelievably fantastic lens for how much it costs, the focal length that you're getting. It's just really great. The only downside to it is like its minimum focusing distance. If I had the Fuji 90mm f2, I definitely could have gotten closer, but I still feel like this is a fantastic shot. I mean, just zooming in on the leaf, you can see every little crackle and detail. I mean, it's a really, really great lens, and it's kind of making me consistently reconsider and think about buying the rest of the lens series, the 23, 33, 56. The 75 just came out, but I still am in love with this 85. The bokeh, the separate, just everything about it. It just, for $400, it is an amazing, amazing lens. When that came out, I was like, yes, please. This next shot was actually, again, taken with the 85. I kind of set a challenge for myself this month of using the 85 more often because I felt like I wasn't really using it all that much, and I wanted to get a bit more experience with it, a bit more time with it, and just kind of learn at what situations it works best in, or if it can just work well all the time and you just have to have your eye kind of just trained to see in that focal length. On a crop sensor, that 85 millimeter is more like 127. So it's a very tight shot. It's in the higher end of kind of the telephoto primes, for sure, on a crop sensor. On full frame, it's fantastic. It's a nice portrait focal length, but with crop, it's a bit tighter. But this is a shot of a doe on a hillside. I took this one at Boulder Ridge Park. Not going to say exactly where it is because I don't think technically I was supposed to be there, but we won't talk about that. So this shot, if you kind of pull into it a little bit, you can see where the Viltrox kind of falls apart a little bit, and that's in the chromatic aberration part of things. The trees, the deer have some really hard teal lines around them. The doe itself has a lot of magenta. Personally, I don't really care that much because I think the shot itself is fantastic. Like, I love that even with an 85, I'm able to get this fairly, wide scene, this very broad scene. You can see where she's standing. There's, a very clear foreground with the rocks at the bottom of the frame there, all the way to the back with the big tree directly behind her, and then the sky. So I just like how this lens can be what we saw in the last photo, which was that really tied up shot of the leaf with this big separation of the background. But then, if you have a subject that's far away enough, you can kind of get a shot that makes it look like, it's a wider lens that you shot it with. So I think that's really cool. That's what I love about this lens, and learning about, focal lengths, spending that time. But I do really enjoy the colors in this. There's not much. It's pretty much just a green, blue, and brown. Very just, natural tones. But yeah, I think it's a great shot. I really love it. Again, the detail, zooming in on her, like everything is just really, really sharp, well put together, good shot. So yeah, definitely enjoyed that experience there. Again, this next shot's with the 85, and this is, again, taken near Boulder Ridge Park, and this is a shot directly across the Sacramento Valley, towards kind of the Loomis area, Loomis area, towards the Sierra. So there's a big storm head coming into the Sierras, and I thought that looks really cool. You can kind of just make out in the distance the whites of the hills in the background. So I was like, damn, that's really, really cool. And you can see the valley straight across. Again, this was shot with the 85, the Viltrox. And I think I shot this around, I don't think I have the metadata in my phone. I doubt it. Let's see. No. I do not. But I think this was shot around F8, somewhere around there, just so I could get the forest, and everything. What I really love about this shot is how the framing of the bare branches kind of really frame the shot. I'd say the only thing that kind of takes away from the main focus of the shot, which is the hills and the mountains in the background, is the big giant tree off to the right. But can't really do anything about that. It's still a beautiful, grand old tree. Again, a lot of detail on that shot as well. And yeah, it just looks really great. I love the tones in this. It has, I think I went classic chrome film simulation on this one, so it has more of that kind of teal, kind of cyan look to it. Not so much as just like a normal natural pure blue. There is some of that in the sky up on the top right, but it's still, again, it's kind of like that tealish look. I don't know. I thought for this shot, going with more of a subdued, kind of muted look would work better for kind of the ominous feel of the shot. So yeah, I think that came out pretty well. Pretty happy with that. Next, so we're back to Grass Valley again. We're back to Empire Mine, and this shot took me so long to get because I was trying to get the right composition. I was trying to get the framing right with the tree and with the windows and everything, so I was bouncing around trying to get everything in there, and I'm actually really happy with this shot. So I think this was shot at F2.8, I think it was. That's why you get a lot of nice blur out of the tree in the foreground, and it kind of softens out as you get closer to the second window in the back. Again, this was shot with the 85. This was shot with the Viltrox, and yeah, I just really love a lot of the elements in this shot, and that's what kind of drew me to this shot in the first place, is the little light in the window. I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then I looked up and there was a window above it, and the light was hitting it nice, so you couldn't see through it. And I was like, all right, there's a lot of different elements going on here that I think I can make work. So the roof lines, kind of segmenting things, but also kind of leading you through the shot. I love the green in the frame of the window itself, kind of very much pops. And I don't know, it's just a great, really, really cool shot. And the top window, with not being able to see through it, gives you these really great kind of aqua colors in the glass that I just think looks fantastic and really, really draws you in. The only thing that I wish that I had seen a little bit more was the massive hot spot in the background at the top. Because that kind of, if that was a bit more subdued, if I had shot for the highlights a little bit more in that situation, I definitely could have pulled out the shadows. This camera is fantastic for doing that. But yeah, it doesn't ruin it, but it would have been nice if I had seen that and said, hey, let's make sure that I'm metering for the highlights and not just the shadows. And again, you can see some chromatic aberration up in that top right corner where that tree is. It's not too bad. I mean, the majority of the shot is fantastic, but just that top right section of the shot kind of makes this like a 85% shot for me. So yeah, this next shot, the fountain. Again, we're at Empire Mine. The lion statue, the lion head statue. I always love doing this shot for trying to figure out the level of sharpness within a lens, because it's got a lot of detail in it. There's a lot of detail in the fountain. There's a lot of details just going on everywhere, and you can just see how sharp. Zooming in, you can see how sharp the lion's head is, but also again, just the colors are great. I love the pathway behind it, how it kind of just nicely fades out. That's the nice thing about this lens as well, is this is turning into a Viltrox 85 review, isn't it? But as the shot kind of moves away from the point of focus, which was the fountain, it just glides off really nicely. It's not this harsh, cutoff line of in focus, out of focus. It just kind of blends in really nicely. You can still see that the bushes directly behind the fountain still have a little bit of detail in them. There's still a little bit going on, but as you move out, it really softens up really nicely. And the same with the foreground. The bricks in the front, still a little bit of detail, and then as you move in, you gain that detail. And it's just a really nice flow into the shots, and it looks just really, really great. This next one, so this is the greenhouse at Empire Mine, which I love that building. They redid it, they repainted it, they've been redoing the interior. Fantastic job by that team there. I don't know, I just took the shot and I was like, damn, that looks pretty, that's very artsy. That's a very artsy shot. Just use the white frame for the glass panes that are at the greenhouse, and then this pot was just behind it, and the shadows were just killer shadows. And I was like, dang, that's a great shot. Not a lot going on here, pretty minimalistic. Not much to say about what's going on in the background. We got some really great detail, some good color. I definitely went with that orange teal kind of look with it. Not so heavy on the orange, but it's a very cool looking shot. Yeah, I don't know. I just love how well this came together. I don't know if it's a photo that I'd ever print or share or anything, but like on social media. But this is just it's a really good shot, and I really enjoy it. And yeah, moving on. I think this is our second to last one. Yes, our second to last shot. Good, because we're running out of memory space. This again, Empire Mine. I just like the stacked layers, I think, on this shot. Looking at it now, yeah, I don't know if I'd print this. I don't think I would. Looking at it, I guess the geometry of the roof lines, maybe, and the chimney, I don't think I should have put this photo in here, to be honest. We all make mistakes, right? I think it's a good shot. Composition's cool. Subject matter, it's okay. Colors are good. Tones are good. Sharpness is good. But as far as the subject matter goes, I think I was just trying to do something clever with that chimney and just didn't really pan out. It's okay looking. It's okay looking. We can say that. This is the last shot. This is of some water covering some debris inside one of the mine carts at Empire Mine. So this was shot with the 85 again. I think it was the 85. Yeah, pretty sure it was the 85. And I've always found that one of the most difficult things to photograph well, it can be photographed, it's not impossible, but to photograph it well and to get a good composition and to get the right subject matter in there and detail is water, and specifically things under water. So if you're at like the river's edge, or if you're at, you know, a lake or something where it's very clear water, you can see straight down and there's a cool collection of rocks or whatever down there. And you're like, oh, I want to get that shot, and it's perfectly still, and you're like, cool, I'm not going to have any issues with reflections because of a wave or whatever. You get that shot and you look at it and you're like, not quite what I was hoping for, and not quite what I wanted. It looked cooler when I was there than I actually captured. This is the first time that I've actually gotten a shot through water of a subject below where I felt like that's pretty freaking cool, because I think mainly the actual shadow itself, where there's actually light hitting the water and then it's shadowy and forming this perfect point because it was in the mine cart, forming that at the hard edge of the cart. I thought it was really cool, and I thought the fact that there was some rocks pointing, you know, out of the water, there was some in, there was a mix of debris. I thought it just looked really, really cool. I kind of cropped out the section of the minecart that was still in there because I wanted it to look like it was just, you know, sort of existing, you know, in a non-specific area. Like, you can't really tell this is inside the bottom of a minecart just by first glance. You wouldn't, if I didn't told you, you probably wouldn't have figured it out. You would have said, oh, this is at the bottom, you know, this is at a creek, this is at a river, something. No, it's just in a minecart. Yeah, and I just love, again, the detail on this Viltrox is just... So I think my point of focus was the larger rock to the left that has the most sunlight on it. I'm pretty sure that was my point of focus. And I want to say I shot this at f4, maybe f5.6, but probably f4. Yeah, and I just love the shape of the shadow, the color that it brings, and it's just, I don't know. It was a cool shot. I really liked it. I thought it was great. And that rounds us off for this month. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all thought it was cool and enjoyed it. I like talking about it. I'm going to get better at describing the photos and reviewing them for myself because that's not easy. I only included one photo that shouldn't have been in here. But yeah, I think this is fun for me to kind of go back and sit on it, spend some time not looking at the photos and then kind of seeing them with the fresh set of eyes and still deciding whether or not if they're good. So I hope you all enjoyed this. This kind of turned into a mini Viltrox 85 review. I'll probably do a full review on that lens maybe sometime. Lens reviews are a pain. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed once again. And if you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, like it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. It's very kind of you to do so. And, maybe in the comments below, say which was your favorite, which was your least favorite, some locations you'd like me to go to in Northern California and photograph or wherever. And feel free to share your own photos. I'll leave links to my social media stuff down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.